Some cards on the market are crashing and people are panicking, but calm down because this video is going to teach you exactly when you need to sell these cards and exactly when you need to buy them back to make the most profit. Welcome to Trading to Glory. If you're looking for cheap and safe EAFC 24 coins, look no further than u4gm.com and use my code ELYT, E-L-Y-Y-T, for 5% off at checkout. In yesterday's Trading to Glory episode, I told you guys that it was time to sell the Champions League cards, and we got some good sales on those as they have dropped since, and we're still selling some of the Europa League cards, Sildilius, that we have because they don't play until Thursday. And we actually got some pretty good sales on these. As I mentioned, we got Modric for 205k and sold for 378,000 coins. And if we take a look at what that card has done since that sale, we're seeing a little bit of a drop on a lot of these road to the knockout cards. Modric, for example, is down to 354 and has been as low as 345,000 coins. Lewandowski, we sold for 545,000 coins, which was great because he dropped even more. Right now he's at 515k, and we didn't sell for exactly his peak as he did get up to about 550. We sold for 545, but we're pretty proud of that given that we got out before he dropped in price now. So the idea now is, when do we buy back? And that is going to be after their games. Whether they win or lose, we're going to wait till after their games. And let me be clear, guys, you don't want to buy as the card has already gone up after they've scored a goal or after they've maybe secured the win going to their second win in the group stage. You don't want to buy then because there will be a spike because of that, and then it'll come back down. That's when we're going to buy. It'll be maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours after the matches conclude. Whether they win or they lose, we're going to pick up those cards. So those are the times that you want to buy back, and you do not want to get caught up in the hype. Now, a few of you guys are probably going to be asking, well, Elite, when do we buy or when do we sell if we haven't sold yet? If we didn't watch yesterday's Trading to Glory, should we still sell these cards? And the answer is yes. I would still sell them before their match. You're going to be a little bit less on terms of profit, and you're going to be a little bit more risk on terms of it not selling. You want to make sure this card sells before their game starts, because if we go into a match today where Real Madrid is playing against Braga and maybe Braga pull out a draw or maybe Braga score first, you're going to see this Luka Modric card go from 355k and it's going to crash down to probably 310, 320 very quickly, just because something in that match went against their way. These cards are dynamic and they are going to fluctuate very, very quickly, guys. So you do not want to get caught up in the hype of these matches and holding these cards, because the risk is way more than the reward. Now, there are always a couple of jackpot cards in which you hold into their game. Maybe Sissoko, I'll use as an example. I'm not saying to hold this into their match because I sold my Sissoko earlier today, but if you've got a Sissoko and they upset Liverpool, which means that they win without being the favorites, then that card will spike a lot more than if the player was expected to win, like Luis Diaz from Team 1. If Luis Diaz, they end up winning this match against Toulouse, this card's probably still going to drop a little bit in price because they were expected to win, and everybody who invested is just invested in the hype of the upgrade, not the actual upgrade itself, which means that if they are favorites, you definitely want to sell beforehand. I'm not going to hold on to any Sakas. You're not going to hold on to any Lewandowskis, any Modric. You're going to maybe, if you want to play that risky game, hold on to cards that already have one win like Machado, and then maybe can get their second win today or tomorrow. So those are the cards that could potentially do the best, but for me, I'm not holding on to any of those cards. If you want a safe investment, right now we're looking at some pretty good prices on Trailblazer cards. We've got Ronaldo down to 1.1 million coins right now, and I think that we're looking at a pretty good price there for the high budget guys. But even for the low budget guys, you're looking at guys like Kubo, who are looking pretty good at under 37,000 coins. And then you've got guys like even Cancelo for the medium budget, where those prices are looking pretty good. Robertson is one of the only left backs in the Premier League that are good, so that's a solid investment in my opinion as well. These cards are safe. They've dropped because UEFA marquee matchups, and then there's so many people selling these cards to get in on RTTK hype. And once that all settles, we're going to see a lot of buying power on the market where people will go in to Trailblazers instead. Safe investment, I'd probably sell around Friday, and you're looking at about a 3-day turnaround on these cards. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, guys, do not forget to drop a like. Let's go for 600 likes on today's episode. We have another Icon SBC on the way. We saw Blanc a few days ago, which was a great SBC. A lot of people are going out and doing it, and it demands a lot of fodder. And so we've got to think, are fodder going to go higher, or have they hit their peak? And for me, I think they're going higher because we're not seeing any SBCs expire over the next couple days. And if you watched the Ultimate Trading Guide a couple days ago when it came out on this channel, you will recognize that that's how we find out when is fodder going to drop. And we're not seeing any big SBCs leave the SBC section in the next 48 hours. Only Chuba Akpom is leaving the squad building challenges over the next couple of days, which means that fodder is going to stay in demand. And that also means that cards like Stoichkov are going to push it up even higher because all the cards are still in demand for the other SBCs, and we're getting another SBC to require even more demand. So if you have fodder cards, I don't see a reason to sell. I would hold on to them. Stoichkov coming in the next couple of days. But we also have leaked Centurions players, which are coming out on Friday. This new promo is actually going to be a decent promo because we're seeing a lot of big cards again. At this rate, boys, we're going to have 107 rated cards by August and 99 rated cards by November because they are absolutely stacking these promos. Rashford is the first card in there. And because there's Rashford in the promo, we went out and we picked up a Rashford out of pack investment. We've got him here. He's going out of packs on Friday. We got him for 183,000 coins. And if we take a look at what his price has done just since this announcement, we'll recognize that this card is already actually going up a little bit to 193,000 coins. So my tax is already covered. Now you guys might be asking, well, is it still a good investment? And my answer is yes. You might miss out on that 5% that has already risen 4 to 5%, but it's still going to go higher because if we take a look at Virgil van Dijk, which is a card that I actually invested in last week because of a Team of the Week out of pack investment, you'll see that I got these Virgil van Dijk cards for about 230,000 coins. And if we look at the graph of Virgil van Dijk, even though he's come down a little bit with the panic this morning because everything is actually getting a little bit panic sold this morning, we've got Virgil van Dijk at 277,000 coins. I'm probably going to sell today because he goes back into packs tomorrow, and so that's the idea. But as you can see, this is the graph of ever since he got announced as Team of the Week and got leaked into Team of the Week. He went from 200 to 212. That's where we're at on the graph for Marcus Rashford. He's already risen that 10,000 coins, but he could go much, much higher. I'm not expecting him to get up to 270, 280,000 coins like Van Dijk, but he could definitely have a 30 to 40,000 coin rise over the course of the next 7 to 9 days. So that's why I invested in Marcus Rashford, and I think it's going to have a very similar trend to that Virgil van Dijk, as we saw it with Jude Bellingham as well. Then we're also getting Pedri. This is more of a fodder card as his gold card, so out of packs, we're not looking at the same kind of graph. If fodder goes up, he'll go up, and he might go up slightly more just because there's not as much supply, but realistically, it's just a fodder investment still. But we're also getting Icon Centurions. These are the first Centurions, or the first Icon cards that are beyond the base Icon. But what I've heard is that a lot of these Centurions cards are actually going to be lower rated than their base Icon, which in my opinion is actually a good thing, because if they already started boosting these Icon cards in October, I mean, I just do not understand how we are going to see this game out all the way throughout the year, because I've already stressed in this episode and previous episodes, we are upgrading these cards way too quickly this year, and I'm worried that we're going to have 99 rated cards all over by the end of the year, which honestly kind of ruins a little bit of that grind along the way. We're also getting Jairzinho, PTSD, FIFA 23 flashbacks. I don't even want to play against this guy or see him ever again after how much he scored on me last year. And then Ruud Gullit coming as a Centurion. So not only are we getting Icon players in this promo, I mean, these are big Icon players. These are big names, and they are going to be expensive, even if they're lower rated than their base Icon. Then we're also getting Ferland Mendy. This is another card that out of packs could do very well. He's already probably the lowest pack weight for any 82 rated card in the game. If we take a look at Ferland Mendy's price right now, we're going to see a similar thing to Marcus Rashford. This card's already 104, 105,000 coins. And if we look at his graph, you can see he was 93K before the leak. So he's already risen over 10,000 coins. Maybe we wait until content time today, see if we can snipe a few for less than 100,000 coins. And then again, we're probably holding on to this card for a little while. We're going to want to hold these for at least a week, maybe a little bit more than that if we want to capitalize on the most profit. For my low budget guys, Frimpong is actually a decent card still to pick up. Get him for as close to like 4.2, 4.1 as possible, as he's already risen, but we actually shouted out to invest in this card right there. He had already risen a little bit, but because of so many different SBCs kind of linking to this Frimpong, we saw the Xavi Simons, and then we also saw the Palacios objective. We're going to see a little bit of demand for this card, and now there's another reason that this card is continuing to rise and should continue to rise even after this. He's probably going to get into the team of the week. So if you're a low budget card trying to snipe Frimpong and then holding on to that as an investment as well is a good shout. And then there's another card on here that definitely catches my eye, which is Antoine Griezmann scoring a hat trick against Celta Vigo in a 3-0 victory. And of course, I went out and picked up a few Griezmann as well as an out-of-pack investment. Now, these cards go out of packs on Wednesday, tomorrow, whereas you have to wait a couple days for the cards like Rashford. So for cards like Griezmann and Frimpong, you might be holding a little bit less time. So if you value your time and don't want to be holding on to these cards for quite as long, that might be the way to go. That's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far in the video, comment down below how many coins you have. If you were to sell everything, how many coins would you have in EAFC 24? Let me know that down below so I know what budget you guys are working with, and I want to appreciate you guys that do make it to the end of the video by dropping a heart on those comments as well. 600 likes is what we're going for. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also watch that video right there. It's a good video. I promise it'll be worth it if you click on it.